There are a few scenes in this video where the camera is moving forward. I purposely chose those videos because it is the most difficult type to do motion tracking on, and I love the challenge. I realize that if you are not into computer animation, it is meaningless. And speaking of meaningless, there is little going on in those forward-moving scenes, but when I can track those videos with as little as a quarter of a pixel in slippage, I am ecstatic, whether anyone else is or not. It reminds me of family history. When you start telling a non-family member about your ancestors and they get that blank, bored look on their faces. As I once told my mother-in-law when she started telling me about her ancestors. There is nothing more exciting and more interesting than your own family history, but on the other hand, there is nothing more boring and dull than somebody else's. Though I spoke the truth, I found out very quickly that this is not something to say to your mother-in-law. I am bringing up family history because in the second part of this video Jack will help me tell one of those boring family stories. I hope it's not too boring. In the final part you will see how Jack helped out in cleaning the flooded church building.
Jack Pumpkinhead and Bones have been many places this winter, and have decided to share a few clips of where they have been, and what they have been doing during this COVID crisis. The boys hope you enjoy their memories. They are thinking about filming a complete adventure soon. That's if they can find the time, and a photographer brave enough to go along with this troublesome twosome.
As you do your family history, it is inevitable that you will come across some crazy little tidbits that seem unbelievable. While searching my family history, I came across an individual who had received the Congressional Medal of Honor. He had received this honor in 1878, but had died the year previous, so he had never personally taken possession of this great honor or medal. For the next 70 years, no family member came forward to claim the medal. In 1948, the great director and producer John Ford heard of the unclaimed medal and wrote to the War Department asking if he might have it. The War Department obliged Mr. Ford and sent it to him. Believe it or not, he used it as a prop in a movie he was making at the time called Fort Apache. Here we see Ward Bond wearing that medal in this dance scene with Shirley Temple and Henry Fonda. John Ford later learned that it was against the law for any person to wear the Medal of Honor if it had not been awarded to them personally, but it was too late to reshoot the scene. So it just goes to show what interesting, if not downright crazy things you can find if you dig a little deeper into your family history. By the way, as I was searching for the scene with the Ward Bond wearing the Medal of Honor, I found this interesting scene. In a previous video, I explained that the background, which is called the backplate in my videos, is projected from the virtual camera, and that any 3D object in the scene is always in front of the backplate. No matter how far back I go in the scene, I can never get beyond the backplate. In the next video, Jack and Bones are in the scene with a new character, and this character will be in the parking lot and will need to be behind the light pole. So, do you remember how I'm going to get that done? You're right, I'm going to have to mask it. Now, the new character is also going to pass on the other side of the pole, and the problem on this other side is the shadow. You can see it's a really sharp, dark shadow, and the character will pass between the pole and the ground, and the shadow will need to be cast on the character at different heights. So masking won't do the trick. So here's the challenge. How was I able to have the shadow cast on the new character? Send me an email with your ideas. I'm really curious about your creative thoughts. As you can see, I went to the church the other day and I was surprised to see the building under a couple of feet of water. And wouldn't you know it, Jack was there playing in it. I asked him what was going on, and he said he was getting a little swimming practice in. I was so mad I ran out of the building to cool off, and when I returned a few minutes later, the water was gone. I called out for Jack to understand what had happened, and the floor rumbled, and there he was. I guess a drain that big will empty the church in a flash.